welcome to the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host, Dr. Jeff Goins, and tonight is going to be the night for reviews. I got to get caught up on a lot of stuff that I did at Gen Con, and things that we got to review or got for review, and setting up all the Twitch, setting up all the streaming stuff has taken a lot of time, and so I am pretty behind. Um, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to uh, put some stuff on for review. Now, I want you to bear in mind, so I've had a couple people oddly say, well, it looks like you've never looked at these books before. And no kidding. It's a review, and it's also kind of a first look. So I will give them that. When you see review, the word review, you immediately think that it's something that I've poured over for a while, which I have done that in the past. I have done that a lot, quite a bit. But it is my preference for as a reviewer, and especially now since I'm streaming this, um, it is my desire to show you my first reaction. So it's kind of a first look, first impressions, and then I'm going to absorb it and review it. Since I am streaming this, I can. I can take more time and take a look at it. Whereas for some reason, when I was doing it solely on exclusively on for YouTube, I was for some reason pressed for time. Um, and well, I certainly don't want to be boring, uh, and I don't want to bore anybody. But you know, uh, so just to set the ground rules, this is it's a review, it's a first look, it's a first impressions, um, and some things I've looked at and some things I haven't, and I'll just be straight up with you on what is what. So the first thing that I'm going to review is the Pathfinder Flipmat playtest that we got from the wonderful folks at Paizo in at Gen Con. So I'm gonna see exactly what this is. It's a flip mat, and it says on the cover, "Wet, dry, and permanent markers erased from the mat." Holy crap! Permanent markers even. So that's a boost, isn't it? This can be found from paizo.com/maps, and this particular thing sells for $24.99. So that is it. My first impression is it might be pricey for something this small, this thin. However, this is not a book. It's a gaming accessory. So the accessories are what is shining on my face. Oh, it's that thing. Okay, so there we go. Now I don't look like I'm you know. Okay, so what is a flip mat? Well, this is the multi-pack. So it has, it looks like it's got a couple in it. Now, this is a fan fold. It is high gloss. And it is very obviously a battle map, as you can see. Um, so this is, okay, it's got, looks like a dungeon on it, on this particular map. And it's in pretty decent detail. Got some caves. You can see here. I'll try and show it to you. It's got some cavature, and you can see there, there's caves, and it also has some dungeon stuff. Very slick card stock, high gloss, battle map for the use with miniatures. Okay, so there's that one. On one side, it has the single large map, as you can see, and then this is just one big cave, and then on this side, it has the actual dungeon with some natural features. Okay, that's one of the two. One of the two. This one, it is also double-sided, as one might expect, and it has some. I'm gonna look at it like this. So it looks like a cathedral with a graveyard. It's a church, okay, with a graveyard, and it's got the graveyard. It's got the church, almost a cruciform. Which, if you're familiar with the architecture of the early churches, they were all cruciform, with a sometimes with a connected baptistry for baptism. The early pre-14th century, you had the Romanesque, which were now here's how you can identify Romanesque from other stuff is just as a quick aside, pre 14th century was Romanesque, which was sharp, long, straight angles, and then post 14th century it became Gothic, and the reason for that was a young fella by the name of Saint Francis of Assisi, who decided that Jesus was not going to be the hard, stern judge of mankind, but he's the one that wanted to project the image of the Lamb of God, and he wanted to make everything seem less judgy and more forgiving, and so he invented the splayed openings where the super thick walls of the church opened up in steps, and the triforium galleries are along the top of the churches, and the quadpartite vaulted ceilings, and all that fancy filigreed finaglery going on was all St. Francis doing. So, what are my first impressions of this? Well, these are very, very nice posters. They're super high quality. This map pack shows some wacky stuff. On this side of it, it looks like a very large, what is this? Tables with table clutter about them, like alembics and other forms of alchemical apparatus and accoutrement. So this is a pretty big place right off the bat. So its use for me would be, okay. So I'm formulating a review in my head as we speak, and I'm going to look in here and see if there's other stuff. This, on the back cover of this, it says playtest the new Pathfinder rules in style with this collection of 2 double-sided flip mats featuring 4 key encounter areas from the Pathfinder playtest adventure Doomsday Dawn. That explains its specificity. Specificity. Now, see, I haven't really looked at the Pathfinder playtest, Doomsday Dawn, yet. Featured areas include a burnt-out crypt under the city of Magnamar, a ruined temple in a demon-infested world wound, a wizard's tower beside a remote mountain pool, and an arcanist astronomer's subterranean workshop. These affordable maps measure 24 by 30 unfolded and 8 by 10 folded. Their erasable coated surface can handle any dry erase, wet erase, or even permanent marker. Okay, so cool. That's yeah, I can see the zoom out on the back here. They have zoom outs, as you can see, maybe a little bit there. Zoom outs of the maps. Yes. So I have some markers hither, or is it thither? Methinks it is closer to thither than hither. So I shall use my. I will get it. I will get it. Hold on. I have a box of markers handy. Well, handy-esque. Okay, so we've got some markers here, and the ever famous vis-a-vis wet erase. And I've got some different colors, so I'm going to try the whole lot of them, I reckon. And then somewhere I have a, it's not even a marker, it's a pencil. Put that out. Oot will ya. Okay, so I've got a dry erase marker, and I'm going to have a handy dandy thing, and the dry erase cleaner, which it should be powder if it's dry erase, but alas, it is a liquid. So, all right. So let's see what we got here. Let's take a okay. So here's this. Let me get over here where I can demonstrate. And I don't even know if these markers are any good. So we're gonna make a mark, and that marker, toast. Let's try this one. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is a wet erase marker. So, okay, obviously doesn't come off. Spray it with a spritz of a spray, and comes off. Pretty darn good. Okay, that worked. Worked for the black. Okay, now we're going to try the red. Okay, so here's the red. You see that? See that mark? Okay. Again, it's a wet erase, so I'm going to spritz a spritz on it, erase it. Looks like it's all gone. Okay. So that worked. And normally, the reason that I'm so why colors are so important is that usually colors, especially red and green. There's the blue. You see the blue marks on there. Okay, so mark it like that, and we're gonna erase it over, and all gone. Okay, so that worked. Worked for the wet erase. I don't know if I've got any dry erase markers in here, but I'm pretty sure that I have a Sharpie. It's a Sharpie. Fine point. Okay. So this is going to be a painful test for me. If any of you feel like I do with your battle maps and stuff, and somebody accidentally puts a mark on it with a permanent marker, that's why I have axes. That's why I have axes. So here's the Sharpie, and I'm gonna make a sharp thing here, like non-committal. Okay, there's an X. So if it doesn't come off, it's not a huge ordeal. So you can see that that X right there. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna spritz it. And now that's a Sharpie, right? So okay, it came off in its entirety. Came off. Even a Sharpie comes off. So that's very much a permanent marker if ever I seed one. Um, so I am quite satisfied with that. It didn't leave any stains of any of the colors. Well, I didn't try green, so I'm going to put some green on it. And okay, there's some green. Okay, you see the green. See the green. The green. Now, what I'm checking for specifically is stains. Is a stain. So green is I think the worst for staining. I've got some battle mats that they're hard battle mats that they lock like puzzle pieces. They are extremely cool because you can have it as small or as big as you want it to be, and you put them all together. But they are unfortunately very stained because the material that the developer had to use was apparently susceptible to either dry or wet erase. I can't remember which, but the green, I put the green on it, and it just stained the shit out of it. It stained it like crazy. According to this, as you can see, there are no stains, marks, or anything of the sort on these. So when they say that it erases wet, dry, well, I don't know about the dry, but I was mostly concerned with the permanent marker. Let me look at my desk real quick and see if there's a dry erase thing. Yeah, no, I don't see any dry erase markers, which I apologize for not being as prepared as I should have been, but I wasn't even really aware what I was going to be reviewing until I just picked something up and said, hey, look at this. So, with that being said, I'm going to give this pretty high marks. I mean, that's a rotten rubber band. It does what it says it's going to do, and that's, as you know, my criteria for reviews is simply, does it do what it says? Does it do what it's supposed to? And in this case, the answer is very much yes. So, this might work. It might not. It might also snap. That'll work. So, what I would suggest for this, on my gaming table here, which is a large oak desk, what I have done is I have acquired a large sheet of glass. You can also use plexiglass or whatever, plastic, clear, or as I did once, I actually used, not on this desk, but I actually used a one of those large fold-out tables, and I used the battle maps, the hex battle maps from the D&D miniatures, the box of D&D miniatures. They all came with a fold out map that was pretty large. It was like 50-inch, 48-inch map or whatever, sheet of paper with hexes on it. And I still have a bunch of them somewhere, where I don't know exactly, but and I used wallpaper paste to adhere them to the table, and then I covered the whole thing. Okay, one table I covered with a laminate, a spray-on, a clear laminate of polyurethane, which works great for dry and wet erase markers. Then something destroyed that table. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was ruined. So then the next table I made, I tried getting I did the sheets on with because I got a bunch of miniatures, so I had a bunch of those maps, and I uh, I laminated that on, and then I put a sheet of clear plastic on it. That didn't work very well, and it was ruined. I mean, it was ruinable. It barely worked in the first place, so that didn't hang around long. Then the next time I used a sheet of hmm, sorry, I used a sheet of plexiglass, and um, that seemed to work pretty well. But the plexiglass was not as immune to stains as the polyurethane. And nothing would wipe off the sheet of plastic. I got a roll of plastic, and I just rolled the plastic on like it was like thicker, a little bit thicker than actual saran wrap. But that being said, this would work well with a like a sheet of glass. Uh, just slide it under it, and then you just write on the glass, and you don't have to worry about ruining the surface of the thing. The other thing is the folds of these maps, because it folds up to 8 by 10. Um, the folds need to be pressed out, so I would suggest um, using like a hair dryer or something, and just getting it warm and then pressing it down. That would work a lot better. So I'm going to give this I'm going to give it 4.5 axes because of the folds. Of course, you know, it could have 5 axes if you don't want to take it anywhere. So if you just want to leave it out flat, you could keep it as a poster or whatever. And so again, that is the flip mats from Pathfinder. www.paizo.com/maps. And this one sells for $24.99, which I don't know. I think that might be pricey, um, but it's up to you whether or not it is uh, pricey or not. And this actually has it has a really neat tip. I just read on the back. It says removing permanent ink is easy. Simply trace over any permanent mark with a dry erase marker. Wait 10 seconds and wipe off both marks with a dry cloth. So I use um, this dry erase cleaner for everything. I use it for everything. I even clean my glasses off with it because it's got a really nice solution of cleaning solution in it. And it worked perfectly well with this, especially even with the permanent stuff. So again, that is the Pathfinder Flipmat multi-pack from Paizo.com. 4.5 axes because of the folds. Took off a half an axe. So I'm going to be right back with another review. So don't go away. But for the YouTube, because this is going to be a separate video on the YouTube, I'm going to say on behalf of the cast and crew of the whole Dwarven Tavern, I am Dr. Jeff Goins, wanting you to wish for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.